Hi, my name is Stephen Cohen, and you're probably wondering, Steve, didn't you already write this down and put it on your website, link down below? And yes, I did, but I thought it would be a lot better for people to, listen and watch a video of my perspective on some of the worst movies of 2020. And let's be honest, okay? 2020 has been terrible. We had to deal with a virus. We almost had to deal with a war. Our president's a clown. But I'm not here to talk about that. That's for a different video that's never going to come out. I'm here to talk about some of the worst films of 2020. Now, not all films on this list are bad. They're disappointing. There are a couple of decent ones, but they're not great. I want to talk about them. I want to talk about why they're bad. I want to talk about why they could have been better, or in general, why they are some of the worst feces that ever came out of a human fucking person or animal, or why they are terrible. Or breathe, breathe. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's not like we have to rewatch these films again, and we talk about them and just keep them in your mind. I mean, hey, it could be worse. We could relive 2020 again. Oh dear God, let's not. Let's not. Let's just stop that now. I mean, for what it's worth, 2020 could have been a lot better if I had seen these films. But no, it wouldn't. It would have not been better if I saw this in theaters. Okay, let's just get down to the brass taxes. Let's come and talk about what we came here for. Let's talk about the top 10 worst movies of 2020. It pains me to put this movie on this list, considering the fact that I love the show, but I don't like the movie. Now, I don't think it's bad. I think it could have been better, but I'm disappointed in it. The film, when it has the Impractical Jokers doing their Impractical Jokers, pranking and embarrassing each other parts, that's good. That's great. I love that. That's why I love the show. But then when you put a plot centered around it and you have a script, yeah, that kind of takes me away from the film and enjoying it. Yeah, I don't like. The movie is about four lifelong friends who now have to go to this Miami party. Well, they don't have to go to it, but it's centered around the plot of the film. So they bring us to the 90s where Joe, Murs, Sal, and Q are at a concert for Paula Abdul, or more like they snuck in as security, and Paula Abdul vowed to get revenge on them because they ruined the concert. And now we're here, I think 20, 25 years later. Paula Abdul is like, oh, you're the Impractical Jokers. Invites them to a party, but she only has free tickets. So they have to do 10 challenges, and whoever loses doesn't get to go. Now, for Impractical Jokers, it doesn't work for a film because it's a hidden camera show. In a film, you could make that possible. Jackass did it, and they have a trilogy. So what happens here? I mean, think about this. If the movie had just done this,
Sexy selfie.
it would have been a lot better. But no, they decided, let's put a plot around it. Let's have Paula Abdul be the villain? Is she the villain? I don't know. Honestly, this movie disappointed me. There's a reason why it's on this list over the other terrible films that aren't. It's because I was really excited for this film, and in the end, it just wasn't as good as like I expected it to be. It's not a horrible film. I'd probably watch it again just for the jokes, but not for Paula Abdul and the fucking story. Why in the world would they have a film with Paula Abdul in this decade? Ah, well. She's still relevant, I guess. On to our next film. So Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams star in a film about a real-life song contest called Eurovision, which is a Europe International Song Contest, which is kind of like American Idol, but alright, I can't. This movie's bad. This movie is bad, 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 bad. Why, Netflix? Why? Look, I don't hate the fact that this movie was made. People like this movie. It was number one on Netflix for some reason. It was as popular as Tiger King, but that one is enjoyable. The thing about this movie that I don't like is it's not funny. I only chuckled a couple of times. I don't care for these characters at all. Like, at all. It's boring. I almost fell asleep. And let's be real, okay? Why was Rachel McAdams in this film? They dubbed her voice, or she lip synced. She lip synced, and they dubbed a Icelandic musician, I'm guessing, as her singing voice in this movie. What's the point of that? What's the point of that? We get that in cartoons and animated films, but that makes sense. You know, not all the actors are going to be able to perform, but they at least sound like the actor. Oh, who's this singer? She sounds nothing like her. I don't even want to play the music in this movie because I don't want to get copyrighted by Netflix, but dear God, it's not good. I don't like the music at all. It's so blech. And I don't like the characters in the movie. They're so blech. I don't like this movie. I don't think it's a terrible film because, quite frankly, there are worse films, but I don't think it's good. I think it could have been a lot better. But, I mean, let's be real. It couldn't have. Will Ferrell, bro, you gotta find a new agent because your last few films have been bad. Trust me. I watch Holmes and Watson, the Sherlock movie he was in with John C. Riley. Yeah, find a new agent or start making better films, bro, because you're turning out like Adam Sandler. Boy, we're gonna see that name soon. All right, on to our next piece of shit film. So this movie took 4 years to come out into theaters, and let's be real, it took 4 years to reshoot this movie, push it back some more, have Disney acquire the rights for it, and then COVID happened, so 4 years too late. This film stunk. It's bad. It's not good at all. It has a 2% enjoyable rating out of it, but 98% of it's boring. The characters are boring. The horror is not scary at all. This is supposed to be a horror comic movie? Yeah, no. The film is based off the X-Men comics of the same name, and I mean, where are all the X-Men? Where's Rogue? Where's I don't know, Logan? I know my X-Men. It's just like off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of all the names that are not in this movie, and all of them aren't. Now look, the movie was supposed to come out after Logan. There were scenes in this movie that were technically in Logan, uh, but like I said, reshoot. All right, so we'll move it to after Deadpool. Nope. Push it back to Dark Phoenix. Nope, Disney acquired it. Okay, let's push it back to 2020. Nope, COVID. Alright, well, let's push it back for fun, because you know what? This movie's gonna do great, right? This movie was a critical flop. Like, I don't know what happened with this film. I don't know why this film did terrible. I don't know what happened. This movie, let me tell you something. This movie had potential. This movie had potential of being a good film. And I could see the potential in this movie. I was hoping this movie would actually be good. But when you have, and I'm not kidding, Marilyn Manson voicing this horrifying smiley face without no eyes character, that's not going to help your movie. Neither are these terrible character developments, this terrible setting. You know what this movie feels like? It feels like a DC movie in 2015 or 2016 or 2017 trying to be like Justice League, a film that's supposed to be centered around a franchise, but it's not. It's too dark, it's too gritty. That's what this film is. Except Justice League is better. I can't believe I'm saying that, considering the fact that Justice League is the worst film ever. Maybe, just like Justice League, this will get a director's cut. Only maybe. I don't see it happening. I don't think it will ever happen. But hey, the world may never know. But until then, I'll be stuck with this movie. Let's be honest for a second. When you see the name WWE Studios before any motion picture, 9 out of the 10 times the film is going to be bad. And the main event is one of those times. So this film is kind of like Mike, where Bow Wow finds Michael Jordan's shoes and magically has his ability to play basketball. Yeah, it's kind of like that, except our character Leo here finds a luchador mask and is able to get wrestling abilities and also super strength, and his voice deepens and he can do flips. Oh boy, when you put a luchador mask on, you can do flips. How in the hell is that possible? Look, Like Mike is silly, all right, just like this film. But Like Mike has a good story, has good character development, has a good plot. What does this movie have? Some wrestlers that are in WWE and NXT and are acting. They're not terrible at it. It's just this movie makes them terrible at it. What pains me about this movie is I knew it was going to be bad from the moment I saw it, a trailer of it. And I thought to myself, okay, Like Mike was good. It's exactly like Mike. Maybe it'll be good. Nope. I was wrong. I was completely wrong. I should never take that chance ever again. I'm scratching my head still to how this is bad. Like, the message in this movie is about finding your self-confidence. And WWE Studios already made this type of film, last year called Fighting with My Family. If you haven't seen that movie about Paige, go watch it because that's a good film. This movie, however, no. This is not a good movie. This is terrible. So, this movie was made prior to 2020, but we were promised a bad film if Sandler was snubbed in the Academy Awards. And as promised, here we go. Sandler's playing a ridiculous character as usual, and he sounds like this, he sounds like this, Raggy, except without the Scooby-Doo part. But him and his buddies that need a few extra bucks before this next project that they have to do, yeah, they're in this film. And the film's about disappearances on Halloween night, and Yubi is the only person who is willing to see what is causing all the disappearances. Now, I mean, this film is bad, and trust me, it's bad. It's enjoyable, I give it that. I mean, after all the other films we've saw, this one seems pretty enjoyable. Now, for starters, I love me some Adam Sandler movies. I love me some ridiculous characters. I have been since I was young. But after Jack and Jill, I've been kind of iffy with it. Seriously, how the fuck was Academy Award winner Al Pacino in Jack and Jill? And in this movie, they got Ray Liotta. What does Sandler do? Does he fondle money in front of these people that need, like, a few extra dollars and be like, come make my movie. Come make my movie. Now I sound like Tigger. What's going on? Does Adam Sandler make Scooby and Tigger and just put their voices together and make my voice? Oh, I mean, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Seriously, I'm sorry. I am sorry. Another reason why I found this film terrible, but yet enjoyable, is because it's very stupid from the jokes to the most wackiest, ridiculous twist ever. And the canister. What's with this canister that could do almost everything? Look, in the end of the day, the film was bad, but I had sort of a fun time watching it. I chuckled a few times, and I mean, I wouldn't watch it again, but it'll be making a great background noise during Cards Against Humanity or, I don't know, masturbating. Whatever is better for y'all, I guess. Or maybe not masturbating. I don't want to hear "oh, woo, 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 woo" every fucking 10 seconds. I want to come. Why am I talking about masturbating? Does it matter at this point? I mean, we've gone down the list. We're getting closer to worse films. Robert Downey Jr. went from being the most loved superhero of all time to the worst version of Doolittle. Seriously, Hollywood, how many times are we going to get a Doolittle remake? This movie came out all the way back in January, where the biggest threat in the world was a world war, possibly. So, the fact that this movie came out during the worst time before we had the worst time is telling you something. This film has a all-star cast that cannot help this movie at all. This movie is a big pile of dog shit that gets stuck under your shoe, and the only way to get it out is to wash it off and hope the stench goes away. This film has terrible CGI, a terrible dialogue, uninteresting characters, and a non-interesting villain that is just bland. He's one-dimensional. I'm serious. How does Robert Downey Jr. go from playing Tony Stark to this pathetic version of Doolittle? How does Rami Malek go from playing a Academy Award winning role of Freddie Mercury to a fucking CGI gorilla? My biggest question is how the fuck did this film become the 7th highest grossing film of this year but still be a box office bomb? I honestly heard how bad this film was the second it came out, and I knew this film was bad from when I saw the trailer. No offense, RDJ, but if you're gonna play anyone from the UK, stick with Sherlock Holmes. You're shockingly better in that role. What's crazy is the fact that this is only the 5th film. This is the 5th film on this list. You would think a film about Al Capone, the most notorious gangster in America, would be executed and beautifully done. Hell, on paper it sounds great, but on paper you add the fact that it has a story about Al Capone having dementia and he's shitting the bed. Oh, that's great. That's amazing. Nobody wants to see that. Tom Hardy's performance as Al Capone is over the top. He does a pretty well job, but I mean, he also needs to act like Capone is losing his fucking mind and is batshit crazy while also having dementia. The film has a lot of problems, and it really does. First of all, the pacing is slow and boring. The cinematography is decent, but when the pacing is slow and boring, it gets in my way. Also, the story feels too cluttered, as it's about Capone having dementia, but then at the same time it's about FBI agents surveying him, but at the same time Capone's hallucinating and turning insane. But at the same time, there's a plot where he's hiding $10 million somewhere, and only Capone knows where it is. Like I said, the film's cluttered. There's too much going on, and just one little story of a dementia Al Capone would have been enough. But it really wouldn't be. It would be better if we just got a whole fucking biopic of Al Capone. On paper, this idea sounds smart, but maybe, like I said, if it was about Al Capone, it'd be better. I don't want to know about his dementia the whole film. We'll learn about that in the end point. Like, the very end. Like, the last 15 minutes. That would have been better. It would have been a whole lot better if it was like that. I don't want to watch a film about the most notorious gangster wearing a diaper, shitting the bed, mumbling his words, and becoming an insane psychopath, instead of learning about the most badass villain in America's history. That would have been better. Right? Right? Man, what a joke of a film this is. Like, I remember almost falling asleep halfway into the film because I was bored and uninterested in the story. I came into this film not knowing what it was about, and boy, did I wish I fucking did, because if I did, it would have saved me about 2 hours. But hey, at least Tom Hardy did okay, right? Seriously, who keeps giving Pauly Shore roles to be in? Especially in 2020. This film literally has the words horseshit written all over it, because my god, this film is terrible. I watched this film not knowing what it's about, not seeing the trailer, just seeing the poster and being like, this film has to be bad, and sure enough, it was horrendously bad. Pauly Shore's career somehow managed to come out of the 90s and be put into the 2020s. Like, I don't understand how. Who keeps giving this guy roles? Like, I love them in Biodome, and that movie's bad, but like, I enjoy it. I didn't enjoy this movie. The film has horrible pacing. Like, the first 3 minutes introduce us to our main characters, but like, I know nothing about them. And then we're introduced to Pauly Shore. And bro, I never cringed so much in the first 10 minutes of this film. Like, I promise you, watching the movie, it is gonna make you freaking wish you watched Cats. Like, Cats is a better film. Cats! This film is better than this film. My brain hurts. My brain hurts. Let's continue. Now, it's not funny to make jokes about a virus that killed thousands of people, but I mean, this movie made me feel like I got coronavirus. And if any movie is to feel like coronavirus is in it, it'd be this movie, because it has the mother load of coronavirus in this film. Also, who directed this shit? Who directed this? Who the hell is Sam Macaroni? Is that even his name? Macaroni? You're named after a pasta. He worked on John Wick 3, and that's the sad part. Here's an idea. Let's take Pauly Shore and the rest of the worst writers and actors in the world, put them in a film, and let's come up with an idea of a film, and let's say, fuck it. Let's film the film, and let's put it out there during the worst time possible. Oh! 2020? There's your time. There's your movie. Here you go. Kill me now. Just kill me now. Stop. I might have chuckled here and there for this film, but my God, this film gave me headaches. Hold on a sec. Wait. I gotta see the percentage of this movie as on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, I gotta. Are you fucking kidding me? In 2014, the Lego Movie made a splash into Hollywood and became one of the most successful animated films of all time. So Hollywood and many animated companies decided, hey, let's make our own toy-related animated films. Warner Brothers made Lego movies, Lionsgate decided to make a My Little Pony film, STX Entertainment made Ugly Dolls, and Method Animation and Path Distribution made Playmobil the movie. Half of these films were successful, and the other ones not named Lego did poorly, critically, and commercially. Then, a film created by Universal and Microsoft was created. A film about bobbleheads, which is kind of like a toy, but it's not, but it's a collectible toy, so it counts. So Bobbleheads the movie is kind of like Toy Story, as the bobbleheads come to life, and the story of the film is that the family that owns the bobbleheads go on a weekend vacation, and two uninvited intruders go into their home and try to swap one of the bobbleheads with a new baseball player bobblehead. So this movie sucks so much that I literally hated it and cringed, not even 5 minutes after watching the film. 5 minutes into the film, and then 5 minutes every other 5 minutes. I paused the movie a lot because I was just like, bro, what is this film? What is this film? The animation is basic and lacks any soul. The voice acting is meh. And the dialogue in this film, oh my God, that's where the cringe, that's the cringe part of it all. And the bobbleheading animation throughout the entire film is distracting. Oh my God. But here's the best part. The people involved in this film, the people that made this film, the people that wrote it, the people that directed it, the people that made the screenplay for it, they all worked under Disney at one point. Especially the director. The director directed Atlantis the Lost Empire, Hunchback of Notre Dame, and 1991's Beauty and the Beast. You know, the film that was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture. The first animated film to do that? Yeah, that film. How the fuck? Oh, wait a minute. There's more. The best part of this is the fact that in the middle of this movie, Cher becomes the spotlight of the film. Cher! How the fuck did... No, not even how the fuck. Why the fuck? Why the fuck is Cher in this movie? Why? I never hated an animated film as much as I hated this one. Like, it's not shocking that this movie is so bad because, one, I barely heard about the film, so it must have been under a radar. And two, the film has a B-rated cast, so it literally already is out of place, and it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous film. The film's ridiculous. The animation could have been so much better. The story could have been a lot better. It needs a lot of work, to be honest. And most of all, the director who worked on an Academy Award and the biggest Disney film of all time, possibly, worked on this movie. And this movie isn't even up to par to that film. No, this movie is a gas station type of film. It's a film you could buy at a gas station. Well, Emoji Movie, move over because fucking Bobbleheads the movie is going to be on the shelf of the worst animated films of all time. Are we at shocked at all, considering this is the only film in 2020 I reviewed because I had so much on my mind to talk about with this horrible film? This Disney live action remake is no way a remake, but more of a copy and paste retelling of a film with some 99-cent store replacements of certain characters and plot points, like the burnt village scene, Mushu, Shang, the cricket, every fucking song in the original film, and the soul that this film doesn't have. The editing of this film is purely piles of human shit. The CGI looks like it was done on a 1994 Apple computer, and the acting in this film is terrible. Oh, and I said this in my review, but I'll say it again. This movie tarnished the legacy of the original animated film, and in many ways, this film is a big middle finger to Chinese culture and the original story of the ancient folklore of Mulan. No, I'm sorry, but no one should ever had to waste $30 to watch this film, let alone $17 or a single fucking penny in a fucking movie theater on Disney Plus anywhere on this fucking poor, sad attempt of a film. I literally want to rip my balls off and hand them to Disney for being their little bitch for many years, defending them with all of their fucking live action films, because they legit made me hate the company for a minute. They legit made me want to kill myself while watching a 99-cent store motion picture. If I just, at all, if I see this film get one nomination in any category for the Golden Globes or the Academy Awards, I will literally have a mini temper tantrum. I will freaking be angry up to fucking next October. Disney, you literally had to ruin the most amazing original film that you've ever made. You literally had to fucking ruin Mulan. You literally had to destroy everything fun about that movie and add in boring characters and a one-dimensional villain that is only in the movie so she and Mulan can have some sort of girl power moment. But let's do more. Let's do more. Let's take out all the original songs. Let's take out the most interesting character of Mushu. Let's ruin the film. And let's, I don't know, be different. Let's actually be a remake. Let's maybe put it in Chinese and have subtitles and make it more darker and grittier than the original. Nah, let's just redo the story and not make the film cinematic. And let's make your parents pay an extra $30 on their already $6.99 a month to watch this sad attempt of a film. Oh, and let's have their main actress have a huge controversy centered around her with the Chinese government of her literally loving police brutality. Yeah, that's gonna make your movie do so much better. Honestly, if you like this movie, then we can't speak. I have a problem with you, just like I have a problem with Mulan 2020, because this movie is not original. It tarnished the original animated film, and most of all, it disrespected Chinese culture. Fuck 2020 Mulan, and fuck Disney for making this movie. And this is coming from me, the guy who liked the live-action Lion King, because Lion King is my favorite animated film of all time. Oh my fucking god. I need a minute. I need a minute. Let's just get to the credits.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, can't make